He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the lights. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go.
Week 3 Class 4A rankers coming to you in a matter of seconds, minutes, whatever it may be. Cadeness and joined alongside, as always, with Andrew Brown. Go check out our other rankings videos for sure. Become an Iowa high school baseball fan this summer. And hey, we're dropping our high and tight episode where Andrew and I kind of go in more in depth, give some more opinions, make it more of an interactive show. Besides this, we're kind of just revealing our rankings. So go check that out. But hey, Andrew, I say we get right to it. Class 4A, we've got a ton of movement. Obviously, Class 4A drawn in a ton of fans. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. 15 through 11, though. Let's get right to it. And we've got movement at every single spot, I should say. Cedar Falls, Linmar, and Dowling all dropping in this week's poll. Hanging on in there, though. Just some running into some tough teams. Just kind of happens. And, we know those guys are still quality programs and they'll hang out inside our top 15 right there respectively. But hey, Andrew, we've got some teams to talk about here. Hawkeyes Northwest, a team that stuck out to me, had a good week, swept Southeast Polk, who's up there in our rankings as well. Lost to Hawkeyes, beat Valley. The pitching staff is playing for Hawkeyes Northwest like we expected. The question mark was the bats. They're hitting better than they were at this point last year, I believe. Their team average is around 275. I believe they finished around 250 last year. So the bats are improvement. Hawkeyes Northwest moving up 3 spots. They got a doubleheader with Ankeny. Looks like they got Urbandale and a doubleheader with Dowling this week. So another busy week in the CIML for the Wolves. Andrew, you like Urbandale, though, at number 11 here.
Yeah, I do like Urbandale. I think they've been slowly there. Of course, you take on Johnston. Yeah, that's always going to be a tough game, and it certainly was a tough doubleheader for them. But of course, I mean, they had a volume of games here. Doubleheaders all except the game against Valley on the 31st to wrap up May. So I mean, that was it. They took down Indianola, Des Moines Lincoln as well, beat Valley. This is a team that's slowly moving through the ranks. Aside from the beginning of the year, man, they haven't had a lot of losing streaks here. And so, again, Johnson being the only one with a 2-game mark. But, they too have games coming up that can really test them. Hawkeyes Northwest, Ankeny, Dowling. I mean, they're going to go through the slate here. I mean, the rest of their schedule, you're facing almost a ranked team every game. So, I think that they're in a position right now where they can land here well and move on, but I do like where they're heading.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of teams dropping here, 6 spots, and 4 spots, which means we've got some new teams entering the top 10 in Class 4A. Let's reveal those for you right now. And as you can see, Liberty and Hawkeyes both joining the ranks inside the top 10. Andrew, you've loved the both so far.
Oh, I love the coaching staff. I love everything that's going on. Again, last 2 years in a row, they've made the state tournament, faced Johnston, but they've made the state tournament 2 years in a row by upsetting some big teams along the way. And they're starting off really, really strong. This is a team that despite the under 300 average, they still have 114 total bases. They are just really strong. Mississippi Valley teams are always going to give them kind of a run for their money. But in the end, right now, they're leading that conference, and they're doing it pretty strong. Again, 9 wins overall. But Cooper Hughes is fun in every way, shape, or form, right? He's the guy that I think you should always look out for with them. Ryan Schmeier. Oh, man, I'm sorry if I say that wrong. I'm not great with that. He's also a guy that you have to note here. And again, 7 guys with 10 total bases right now. They're fun to watch, and it really is cool. Again, I mentioned Liam Bender before from last year. He was fun then. He's going to be fun now. He already is leading this squad with 9 stolen bases on the year. So it's a scrappy team, man. I guarantee you, they're gonna come out with at least a split here and they have so far in most of their games. In fact, looking through their schedule, I mean, they haven't had consecutive losses yet this year. I mean, as I look at it, yeah, they've not had two consecutive losses. And this week, what did they do? Swept Cedar Falls. That's the biggest kicker. Swept Cedar Falls, outscored and blanked them both times. In fact, outscored them 6-0. And then, the fault was to Xavier here, but they split that doubleheader, and then they split the Dubuque Senior doubleheader. But ultimately, this team is in the right track, and I think they're doing well. I mean, gosh, they only lost by 1 to Dowling, and Dowling is a good team as well. So I think they're headed there. Coach Martinez is fantastic, and a guy that that worked for PBR before he entered the coaching ranks, and so he knows a lot of these guys from that other side of the game as well, and it's really showcasing how he's putting together a good program going forward.
Absolutely. Well, the team that kind of stuck out to me here is the biggest riser in Class 4A this week, and it is Waukee and the Warriors. They started off their week with the loss to Southeast Polk, but finished the week on a heater. Swept Dowling in both games. That one really stuck out to me at the time, and then picked up a big win Friday night against Waukee Northwest in their little civil war, as they call it. But hey, the pitching staff for Waukee has just been tremendous, led by Braden Billings. He is putting himself on the map across the state, especially in Class 4A. 20 innings pitched for the senior, 20 Ks. A .68 whip in Class 4A is one that sticks out to me. They also got guys in Zach Turpin. Grant Sorensen went complete game against the Wolves on Friday night. He's impressed then. And this team is just playing good ball, and they've got some big games this week. They got Urbandale, Johnston, doubleheader with Valley, and like you said, I mean, it feels like that little CML. You're playing a ranked team more nights than not, and that's how it's turning out to be. Milwaukee sticking out to me in that little 10 through 6 group. Hey, let's get to our top 5 though in Class 4A. Leading off with DCG. Andrew, they drop a spot, but obviously nothing really at the fault of the Mustangs. They're still playing, and they're still moving along just as they usually are.
I mean, yeah, this team has never been shy on their schedule. Top 10 in their schedule overall, and they've played primarily teams that have been over 500. They're 4-1 in that mark, so not a lot of things that you can really shake at them. Again, all their opponents' record over 500 too combined. So, I mean, Tatum Gray is kind of the one leading the charge here. Again, tied for second overall in total bases. But, I mean, you guys got guys like Keaton Fenn as well, and that really put together what is a great showcase. I mean, one guy might not have a great game, but the others really do step up and put a lot on their mark here. And they're deserved here. They deserve to be here. They've done a lot. I mean, Ty Mickelson. I'm sorry, I was trying to come up with the name Mickelson. He's a guy from last year that stood out, and yeah, man, he's putting up a whole lot. So Coach Castenson is putting together a squad that I think is going to vie for another state tournament appearance as well.
Absolutely, and really, they only dropped to number 5 because Ankeny Centennial took them down in a head-to-head, and so the Jags hop up to number 4, and there's room for improvement for Ankeny Centennial in the coming days because they've got a doubleheader with the team ranked ahead of them. I won't reveal where Johnson is ranked quite yet, but a big doubleheader going on Monday night. I mean, really, Andrew, there are multiple monstrous doubleheaders across Class 4A, especially tomorrow night. But now Ankeny Centennial picking up a split with Valley, beat DCG. You know what you got in Inky Centennial, and really a lot's on the line tomorrow night against Johnston.
Yeah, it's really a chance to keep them going forward in the right mark. I think they're kind of hitting their stride, kind of not. One of the things that unfortunately we saw at the end of last year was a little bit of the wavering as we got towards the tail end of the season, and then it just followed them a little bit into the playoffs. So unfortunately, we don't want to see that again. And right now it's early on, so I think if any team can bounce back, this team can. From the Hawkeyes to the Okies and beyond. I mean, they have guys who have now been there, done that. So I would not be surprised if we get a split here. Honestly, would I be surprised if Centennial came out with the sweep? I mean, yes, but it wouldn't be as big of a surprise as compared to others. I think Centennial has that capability of beating teams, and they have a nearly +5 run differential through their slate already. So I think they can use that, especially if you got any other top three guys on the mound. I think you got a great chance of taking the win.
Absolutely. I don't like saying there's like cutoff points in these rankings, but I think there might be one but after number 5 here in class 4A. 5 through 1 in class 4A is really, really tough. Those are 5
Yeah.
really good teams competing. And we've got two matchups with top 5 teams going on tomorrow night as I reveal Iowa City High as number 3 this week. Andrew, you got to see the Little Hawks square off with Western Dubuque. Split with them. Really good pitching matchup game 1. Bounce back game 2. Shut out a really good Western Dubuque team. What was the like?
This team has defense for days. I haven't posted up all the clips on that I've had from that game defensively, but I will here soon. But it was, I mean, Salibi at the hot corner, I find, is the most aesthetically pleasing thing to watch. It is poetry in motion the way he can make things work there. And they've got guys in the outfield that have range for days. So the biggest thing, despite the pitching and the hitting, was how clean their fielding was. Again, just one error. Unfortunately, it led to costing them the game in game 1. But I will say that they had the lead early in that game 1. They could have easily just swept the series against the Bobcats, and it just didn't quite pan out the way unfortunately they wanted to. But the duo in Talon Young and Jackson Schroeder, if you do, I know you'll get to see Schroeder. I know you'll get to see him. He made the ball work, man. That was dancing left to right, and he's got a slider and a two-seamer that have so much bite to them that I've seen guys give up on pitches and it lands right in the zone. So he can paint the corners. Again, great staff there. A lineup, I will say, from Mitchell to Salibi and beyond, this is a lineup that across both of those games, one of the other big themes was they got on base quick, right? Almost every single inning of both games, aside from I believe 2, the Hawks had a runner onto the base paths, right? And just about less than half of those they put a runner in scoring position. So they had 3 hits. They were 5 hits with runners in scoring position in game 2. They had 2 to 3 hits with runners in scoring position game 1. So I think they're the complete team. I like them a lot, and I know I'm going on a rant here, but I like them a lot. They get on base, and defensively they make you earn it.
Yeah, you like this team a lot, Andrew, but we got Kennedy at number 2, and like I said, those two teams squaring off tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you think the keys are for success for Kennedy tomorrow against Iowa City High, since you just saw them?
Man, I think the big key if you're gonna put it with them is really wait, be patient at the plate, let the count get deep, because this is a Kennedy team that I know when you put the ball in play does fantastic things. Last year, one of the top batting average balls in play teams in 4A. You put it on there, you wait for the pitches that are not just look somewhat okay, but great, and there will be some that get thrown in there. So what we saw in game 1 was that Iowa City High can have an off offensive game. That's your time to capitalize on it, because you're not going to get a whole lot of leeway defensively with their pitching and with their fielding. So put pressure onto the base pass, match what they do on the bases, and I think that's where you're going to have there, because you're going to get long balls. You're going to get a lot of big hits from Kennedy. But I'd say wait for that pitch and go through a few strikeouts. Wait for it, but you'll get there. You'll get runners on, and so I think just wait in the count, because that pitching's not going to let up.
Absolutely. As I reveal number 1, the Johnston Dragons, and Andrew, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 tomorrow night in Class 4A officially.
Woo!
It feels like the state tournament. You got the semifinals like shaping up. Johnston Aiken
Yeah.
Centennial. If Johnston were to sweep the Jags, I know they might see Joey Oki. You never know what the pitching. What does Johnston have to do in order to sweep the Jaguars?
I think just business as usual, and that's tough going against Centennial. They can
Right.
put that on. You got to see what they did against Dowling,
Yeah.
and so that you got to kind of do the same things that you do and not be afraid to do some small ball. I mean, really, Johnson is so good of when you get one guy on, that single turns into a double, or that one base turns into three bases so quickly. So I think if you wait, if you kind of let them kind of struggle a little bit, I mean, for Johnston, that's kind of the big key there is Centennial might have a slip up here and there. Both teams might. And I think this could go for either team. You got to kind of wait it out, but I mean, be able to play the small ball because they know what you can do with the big sticks. You know, how well can you play the single station to station baseball, the bunt game? How well can you do that? I think if that comes together for either team, that is the team that's going to win.
Great points there. Not too much movement inside the top 5 for Class 4, but hey, depending on how tomorrow night goes, there could be some big changes next week. Class 4A fans, we appreciate you for tuning in. Go check out the normal high and tight episode. We're going to be breaking down stuff all across the state. It's going to be a ton of fun. Andrew and I can't wait to get going on that. But hey, we appreciate you guys, Class 4A fans, and we will catch you next time.